Na 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 na. What the hell was going on at DC? Hello, peasants of YouTube. Welcome to another That's Just Joe video. My name's Joe, and that's about it. So we got some big DC Studios news, and when I say big, oh my god, I mean big. So Hollywood Reporter's come out with this article a couple of hours ago, telling us that Patty Jenkins' Wonder Woman 3 is no longer moving forward. And there's a lot more DC news in this, considering the title says DC movies hit turning point, and giving us a little bit of evidence exactly what Gunn and Safran's plans are for the DC projects moving forward. Now, the article is brilliant. I definitely recommend going to give it a read. It really goes into detail of why Wonder Woman 3 is not happening and the other projects that might not be happening, and also future projects going forward. But I've done a little breakdown on a notepad here just to kind of help us out, to kind of talk through this. So, starting with Wonder Woman 3. This is no longer happening. Apparently, Patty Jenkins and co-writer Jeff Johns gave in a pitch and a script to James Gunn and Peter Safran, who are obviously the co-heads of DC Studios, and they're currently developing their new plans at the future of DC projects going forward. And they turned down the pitch, and because it no longer fits within their plans. This is quite important because it does sound like Gunn and Safran are eking out the Snyderverse, and it's sounding more and more like they are hitting reboot for real on the DC universe. It sounds like they're going to create a linear timeline that isn't too confusing, but I'll go into it in a minute. But projects like Batman and Joker are still going to happen at DC. So yes, Wonder Woman 3 no longer happening. Am I surprised by this news? I would say I am a little bit, because I think Wonder Woman has become a household name in recent years, ever since 2017's Wonder Woman, also directed by Patty Jenkins and co-written by her. But I do think Wonder Woman 84 was not a brilliant film in my personal opinion. But also I think the audience response to it wasn't great, and it was released during the pandemic, so I think that didn't help as well. And they couldn't do reshoots or anything, so they kind of had to go with what they had. I definitely say it's one of the weakest DC films, but I was looking forward to seeing Gal Gadot back as Wonder Woman, and we are going to, because I've written on my little notepad here that she will be returning in The Flash, and I'll go into The Flash in a minute, but let's get on to the next step of the DC article here. Henry Cavill Superman is in limbo, still looking at pictures and writers. I don't know why I would put pictures, but basically they're not sure if Henry Cavill will be returning as Superman to the DC universe. The reason for this is because the Superman announcement and his appearance at the end of Black Adam was done before Gunn and Safran even joined and developed this new department called DC Studios. So obviously the creators at the time were going to be like, yeah, Henry Cavill's come back as Superman, and Henry Cavill has also gone on to say, yes, I'm back as Superman, and we're currently developing Man of Steel 2. But with Gunn and Safran now at the head of the table, that might be changing. To be honest, I'm not surprised. I really, I've said in previous videos, I think Superman needs a huge refresh, basically needs a huge reboot, and not just in terms of the casting and the world it's based in, but also the story of Superman has just aged, not like fine wine, like Coca-Cola, because that runs out of date. So yeah, we don't know what's happening with Henry Cavill. It's kind of in limbo. He still hasn't signed on to do more DC movies, so we could potentially see Henry Cavill no longer donning the cape. The other news was Jason Momoa. Aquaman 2 recently had its test screening. A lot of people liked it. It's going to go out as it is. But it will be his last appearance as Aquaman Arthur Curry. But he will be playing another character in the upcoming Gunn and Safran DC universe, which you may recognize as Lobo. Lobo is a character from DC Comics. I don't actually know much about this character. I mean, if I just go to the breakdown here, Lobo is an alien from the utopian planet of Kazania and works as an interstellar mercenary and bounty hunter. So this sounds very like they could go in a Mandalorian direction with this character. They could do a TV show on this character. It's not established whether it's going to be a film or a TV show or a video game, but Lobo could be an interesting TV show of this bounty hunter going across the DC universe to take out people. I think that'd be really interesting. But apparently Jason Momoa, they are looking at casting him in that part and moving him away from Aquaman 2. Aquaman as a whole. There'll be no more Jason Momoa Aquaman films. Okay, so going to The Flash. The Flash is being kept as is. Apparently the test screenings and everything have gone really well. Apparently one of the DC Universe's best films. The film obviously involves Michael Keaton's Batman returning. We have Supergirl in it. There's a lot going on in this film, and it was supposedly made to reset the DC Universe timeline. But now with Safran and Gunn at the top of the table once again, this could be just kind of shrugged off. But the film is being kept as it is, and Henry Cavill and Gal Gadot will be returning as Superman and Wonder Woman. They will be cameoing in the film still. Apparently Warner Brothers is a bit... Warner Brothers Discovery and DC and everything are kind of a bit not sure whether to put Henry Cavill's Superman in the Flash film. He actually did his pickup scenes recently in January, that he goes on to... in September, that he tells us in this article. I think they should just put him in. I don't think it matters. If they're doing a Flash film and the consequences by the end of the film aren't going to change the future of the DC universe, then why not just have it one more time, Cavill in it if he is no longer Superman, and I think that will please a lot of fans. There'll be a lot of people still saying restore the Snyder Cut or restore the Snyderverse and everything, but we'll just ignore them. There we go. So yeah, Flash is being kept as it is. Black Adam sequel likely not going to happen. Surprise. Black Adam didn't do very well at the box office as intended, I believe. I really do think they were intending to hit the billion mark because of Dwayne Johnson's influence on audiences, but it hasn't quite worked out. I have to say the marketing over here in the UK especially has not been brilliant, and it's already gone to digital streaming. I will be purchasing it on digital streaming because I've still not seen this film, and I'm looking forward to it because I've heard the Justice Society of America are fantastic, but apparently due to the box office reception and general audience reception, Black Adam sequel is likely not going to happen, and it sounds like it's a character or a world that doesn't quite fit into Gunn and Safran's universe, upcoming universe. So two bits of good news, I would say, on this note is Matt Reeves' The Batman projects are still going to happen. So the Penguin show, the Arkham show, the Batman 2, and going forward with that character with Robert Pattinson, that is still going to happen. And James Gunn and Peter Safran will be overlooking these projects going forward. But I don't think they're going to have much say because obviously Matt Reeves has recently signed a first look deal with Warner Brothers where he's going to be developing more projects and everything. So I think the trust is there with Reeves. And to be honest, the first film did work really, really well. I do think it could have done a little bit better at the box office, considering these Marvel films are just making millions and millions. The Batman was a bit of a slower process, but I do think the film is a smash hit. In my personal opinion, I think it's quite hard reaching general audiences with this character, so I think Matt Reeves really has to go ham, with the next projects he's doing within the Batman universe. But also Peter Safran and Gunn will have no say in the current shooting of Joker 2. I don't know how to pronounce the title of the second film, but they're not going to have much say in that film because it's very, very outside of the DC universe, which I'm excited about. I'm really excited about Joker 2. I was a bit apprehensive when they first announced it, but to be honest, looking back, I'm looking more forward to it now. Also, to end the video, Gunn and Safran are meeting with David Zaslav next week. This is huge because this is where they come into Zaslav's office, they set out a huge map on the table, maybe a whiteboard, maybe a chalkboard, and say, this is the DC universe we are moving forward with. I'm very excited to find out what those plans are, and I think we're going to find out very soon. Obviously, they won't want to announce anything until they get the go-ahead from Zaslav and team, but I think, with all these leaks coming out now and everything, I think we're going to find out very, very soon what is coming and what is no longer happening. James Gunn and Safran's DC universe doesn't start until after Aquaman 2. So we're still getting the Flash movie, then Aquaman 2, and then we enter the Gunn Safran verse, which I am excited about. I'm really looking forward to what they're going to do. I just really hope they make something that's more consistent. Again, I'm not a huge fan of cinematic universes. I think stuff can work on their own, like the Batman, like Joker. I think they should just build a DC universe that is not connected at all. I think that'd be more interesting. Just like the old days, you know, when we had Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man and Eric Banner as Hulk, they didn't have to be connected. I think that's more interesting, and it also gives creatives more freedom. But James Gunn is very much a creative himself when it comes to directing and writing, so I feel like he's going to give that little bit of freedom to people, and so will Safran. So anyway, that is all the DC news from this article. What do you think? Are you looking forward to the supposed new DC reboot? I'm a bit apprehensive myself, but to be honest, I am excited. I just get a bit nervous when I think of this sort of stuff. But let me know what you think in the comments about this news. I'd really like to hear your opinion. Let's talk about it. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and may the force be with you. That's the wrong film.